In our D&D Curse of Strahd campaign so far, our characters are trapped in Barovia, a demiplane of dread. Strahd von Zarovich, Lord of Barovia, can pull people into his lands, but cannot leave. This place is a jail, where he is both the warden and a prisoner himself. Along the way, we meet a friend, Esmeralda, a Vistani vampire hunter who wants to help us kill Strahd. And we have a raven, Muriel, who's with us. She's not doing a whole lot, but she's there, being more of a moral support than anything. When we first arrive in Barovia, we find a woman, Irina, who's fleeing from Strahd and try to get her to safety. We make a promise to her brother Ismark to keep her away from Strahd and take her to Vallaki, where we think she'll be safe. But once we get there, she's also targeted by the Baron, who is trying to force Irina into an arranged marriage with his son, Victor. She's just some random woman who everyone's obsessed with. I mean, I get it, she's hot, but like, calm down, people. Anyway, Irina is being held captive at the Baron's estate, guarded by Ezek. Conveniently, another competing noble, Fiona, wants to take over Vallaki because everyone hates the current Baron, and she wants us to kill the head of the guards, Ezek, in order to do it. So, in the last session, we did it. We killed Ezek and left his body out behind a dumpster. All of this just to make sure that we can save Irina. Now that he's dead, the plan is to stage a coup during the festival, rally the people into a frenzy in order to put her in charge. Man, it would really suck if Fiona turned out to be evil. In Baron Vlakovich's house, we find Victor, the troubled young son who is trapped in the attic by his father. Victor's working on a crude teleportation circle. Although he wants to flee from Barovia, we know that teleporting out from the demiplanes of dread is impossible. In the last session, we even got an invite from Strahd to come to his home. Okay, you guys know how we might go to Strahd's place. I've got a plan. Remember how he promised it would be safe for us? Well, in that case, we use that to our advantage. When we come to his home, he has us over for dinner. Okay. We play it coy. Just pretend to be fine. Then, when the time is right, we are all going to drop our pants and take a shit on the table. We're just going to take a shit all over it. And then we're going to take a shit on the floor, on the walls, and on a portrait, and then on Strahd. And if any of the brides tell us, hey, stop doing that, we're going to take a shit on them. And that is how we will defeat the curse of Strahd. Krusk, I look to him. You're our MVP, A-game player here. Since I eat mostly bread and water, we're going to be relying on your plump buttocks laying out these huge meaty turds one after another, just machine gunning them out. While everyone in the group totally liked my plan and definitely thought it would work, we decided to demote it to being the backup plan. You know, you don't want to play your ace in the hole in the first turn. You want to save that for later. But we couldn't go that day because we were busy. Since the letter didn't have a time frame for us, we decided we could just go some other time, if at all. We might even end up not going because it was such a danger to us. We were also being forced by night hags to distribute dream pastries, which were filled with murdered children. Otherwise, they'd kill us. Finally, the session starts, and I wake up in the middle of the night to see the night hag Morgantha standing over Krusk.
I see many people now are eating those pastries. Well done,
Morgantha said.
You are doing well now. If only we could get our hands on more children.
She looked down to Krusk.
But this one's still a problem.
Her hands move around, sending Krusk bad dreams. The DM asked me, Garo, do you do anything? I can't fight her here. Then the DM explained Krusk's max HP is going to be going down by 1d10 again. Krusk was rolling really well on the 1d10 rolls. As a player, he was going, yeah, that's a 9. And we'd go, no, Krusk, you want low numbers now. Morgantha chuckles to herself as she disappears. He's lost 22 hit points permanently off his health so far. Also, all of our characters had leveled up from 4th to 5th. Everyone just took the next level, but me as the multiclass, I was now 3 cleric and 2 monk. The next day we realized that hag is a problem. If we don't do something soon, Krusk is gonna die from this. But we still can't take the hags yet. Besides, we have the rebellion going on today. We spend the morning at the tavern, hearing rumors that Ezek died last night. No one suspects it was us. That afternoon, the Festival of the Blazing Sun starts. We all attend. It's a particularly dour event, with somber music, a little anemic dancing, and some wine being drunk. People are forced to be there, so we can tell they aren't happy. Guards add pieces of wood to a massive pile in the square, which they'll light later as the centerpiece. For some reason, Gouda decided to wear her peacock outfit to the festival. You know, the disguise I got for her when we killed Ezek yesterday?
No, Gouda, that's not how a disguise works. You're not supposed to wear it again. Well, we bought these new outfits yesterday. Of course I'm going to wear a celebration.
She starts dancing through the crowd, drawing eyes.
Gouda, if I die because of you, we are not going to be on speaking terms anymore.
After some light entertainment, Baron Vallaki and his wife step up onto the stage in front of the audience.
I hope you are all having a wonderful time here at the festival,
the Baron announces to the shifty crowd.
Let there be celebrations and joy and laughter that reaches up even to the walls of Ravenloft, driving away the devil and protecting our city.
He pulls out a torch.
Now I will light the fires that will serve as a beacon, that even in this dark and foreboding land, we will persevere. All will be well.
As he lights the torch and approaches the woodpile, the crowd notices as a drop of rain descends from overhead. Then another drop. Then another drop. Then more. Never, in years, had there been a heavy rain in Barovia, but on this fated day, a torrential downpour of rain falls. The torch gets splashed with water, putting out the fire, with a few wisps of smoke coming out of the end.
No, no,
the burgomaster said, desperately trying to light it again, but it was too late. Everything was soaked with water fast. There's a click, 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 as he's trying to use some flint and steel to futilely light it.
The festival is nothing more than a sham,
a voice shouted out. Fiona walked up on stage to speak with everyone.
The Baron has been lying to you, pretending that everything is fine, when it isn't. Our gates are closed to the outside. We live in constant fear. He knows nothing of the pain and strife we go to day after day.
Yeah, you tell him, I say, trying to hype up the crowd. People are nodding in agreement.
That man there,
she points to the Baron,
is no longer fit to rule. Mandatory weekly festivals? Do you really think we're nothing more than your playthings? There for your own entertainment.
Yeah, the crowd agreed, swelling toward the Baron and his wife.
What? No, he said. You can't do this. This is my town.
We are no longer going to follow their rules anymore.
The crowd swelled up, crashing upon them, grabbing them away. Where should we go? The crowd asked.
Take them to the stocks,
another person answered. Yeah, I said.
No, another said. Take them to the gallows. They deserve to hang.
What? No, I said. The demon informed me. Garo, the crowd seems to ignore you. They're all bloodthirsty and want to see the burgomaster and his wife hang. Oh no, we didn't want to kill them. I'd even talked to Fiona about this beforehand, and we wanted them in jail. We didn't want them dead. Because I'm a cleric of the Morning Lord, I will try and give them a rousing speech. Time to work my -1 persuasion. I climb up on a crate and yell, you know what we should do? Instead of hanging, we should work in a reasonable, orderly fashion and give them a trial of their peers, huh? Where they have a chance to have someone represent them. Garo, your voice is getting drowned out by the shouting. Oh no, oh no.
Boshak, a little help over here.
He shrugged.
Yes, blood will be spilled.
Boshak, have I ever told you about how much I appreciate the support that you give me?
No.
Well, there's a reason why. You see as the Baron and his wife are brought over to the gallows. The noose is put around their neck. Stop! Don't kill them! And the lever is pulled. It only takes a moment for their necks to snap. I can't blame the town. They've had a miserable time under him. Maybe this is for the best. We cut over to Gouda. She starts heading towards the Baron's mansion. The crowd is looting, dumping over desks and wardrobes, grabbing anything they want. Gouda is rushing inside. She reaches Irina's room.
I tell Irina, Vallaki is dead. You have to get out of here.
The maids and servants are running out in a panic.
Oh no, I have to make sure that people don't get hurt. I need to get people out of this building. They might end up killing Victor.
Guda suddenly has an idea.
I'll lie to them.
She starts running through the building shouting,
Fire! Fire!
"She's right," the crowd say, getting torches.
Let's burn this place down.
And the crowd starts setting several of the rooms on fire.
That's not what I wanted!
She rushes over to Victor's room. Smoke is starting to rise up from downstairs.
Victor! Victor! They might kill you! You have to get out of here!
She swings open the door to see Victor, the teenage son of the burgomaster, standing in a teleportation circle. "You're right," he says. "I do have to get out of here. Anything."
Wait, Victor, no!
And he activates the circle. But the magic was defective. There's a bright flash as a massive explosion rocks the entire building, shaking it. Guda is thrown out of the building, falls 3 stories to the ground. People run out of the house, shocked by the noise the explosion made. Debris and rubble fall from the sky as the entire upper floor of the Baron's house is just gone. Rain puts out their remaining fires, but that house is destroyed.
Well, that could have gone better,
Garo notices Fiona step up next to him.
but I think it had to be done.
Yeah. Maybe, I say. Garo, you hear other screams coming from elsewhere. People are running down the street shouting, The church of St. Andrew's is under attack! Oh no, I said, running in that direction. Are people trying to loot the church? I blitz across town to St. Andrew's, kicking in the door. Inside, the floor is littered with dead bodies. There are pale figures covered in blood, biting the throats out from their victims, chasing people around. I recognize them as vampire spawn. I also realize I don't have any backup. There's 1 of me and 9 of them. If I can just buy their victims a little bit of time by distracting them, they might get a chance to escape. Your dark powers will not avail you, I say. The Morning Lord's light will shine on. I rush to the center of the group, slamming my staff down, letting out a burst of radiant light that burns all undead in the building. All the thralls get hit with the radiant damage, and they just go, ow, brush it off, and look at me, more annoyed than anything. I was hoping my attack might kill a few, but really, they're just kind of irritated, turning to me with this look of, who does this guy think he is? And I realize I am so outnumbered here.
Well, if it isn't Garo,
says one of the vampires by the altar. She completes lighting some candles and turns to greet me. As I notice a glint in her eye, a cold presence washes over me, and I can't move my body. I'm paralyzed in a hold person spell. The vampire approaches me and says,
we haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, but my husband has told me all about you.
Ah, a bride of Strahd. I can't talk, but she introduces herself. The 3rd and final bride.
Ludmilla. Now, are you going to behave yourself? If you continue to fight, I'm afraid it's not going to go very well for you now, is it?
She releases you from the hold person spell. Garo, I say, introducing myself. The DM turns to me. It's your turn. Do you do anything else? Do you fight? Nope, I say. It would just be suicide. So, you just watch as the vampires hunt down and kill everyone else in the building. The screams echoing through the church. Orphans, acolytes, churchgoers. They're ravenously feeding on the dead bodies. The floor is littered with severed limbs, bits of flesh, and blood. At the pedestal where Ludmilla was, Father Lucian's dead body is draped over the altar. Below him are the bones of St. Andrel.
Those bones were really quite a bother for us,
Ludmilla said.
Because they make these grounds holy and sacred, we couldn't walk here. It really was annoying. So we sacrificed Lucian over the bones. His blood will corrupt these grounds and bones. Now neither him nor the bones are a problem.
I walk over to Father Lucian. I have to say goodbye to him, I say. It was just 2 days ago that he gave me my robes for the Morning Lord. Praise to the Morning Lord. I say a prayer over his body. You meant a lot to the town and the people, though you never knew what you meant. I did. A home for the homeless, warmth to those that were cold, and peace to those that had only known strife. This place was the one hope many had in these dark times. You leave behind a legacy that I hope one day to carry on. I close his eyes. Once I'm done, Ludmilla says,
My husband was very unhappy that you did not take up his offer to come to his home for dinner.
Yeah, we couldn't make it that day. We had other agreements. We hope he understands. He wasn't upset, was he?
Oh, maybe a little,
She says, looking at the church as the massacre is continuing. And I realize, oh, he's here because of us, because we snubbed his invite. Now he's taking his retribution. He killed all these people, this massacre, just to send us a message. And I get the sinking feeling in my stomach, realizing that all of this was our fault. If we had just gotten the bones earlier and decided not to wait, this holy ground would still be protected, and this wouldn't have happened.
Garo,
Ludmilla says,
my husband is a very gracious man. He sends you another invite for tonight. He still wishes for you and your friends to be his guests.
Well, I guess we'll make it, I say.
Excellent, she said. I would not test his patience a second time. Also, one of your friends is going to be there as well.
Friends? I say, who?
Oh, you don't know?
She wags her finger.
Well, such a shame. You don't seem to keep track of your friends much, do you? Well, I guess it'll be a surprise.
I gasp as I suddenly realize who she's talking about. Esmeralda? The Vistani vampire hunter. The last time we talked to her was yesterday. You captured Esmeralda? To get us? We tried to get in touch with her earlier, but it didn't work.
That's for us to know, and you to find out.
I could tell I wasn't going to get anything else from her, so I left the church, still in shock from what I'd seen in there. Walking back to the rest of the group.
What happened at the church?
Gouda asks. Aaron's dead. I tell them bluntly. The church has been corrupted. Everything there is gone.
Well, we gotta go. We gotta save who we can.
Gouda says, rushing to the church. No, don't, Gouda. There's no one to save. I yell at her.
Then I'll kill them all myself.
They'll kill you. You can't fight. She ignores me and continues running. No, Gouda, no. I wrestle with her, preventing her from running. She sounds like she's on the verge of tears.
You don't get it, Garo. We've had to make so many concessions since we've gotten here. We've had to let so many people die. We couldn't take a stand before. Well, not now. This is where we make our stand.
Gouda, we can't take a stand. You know how badly I want to. Just not now. Later, not now.
You're a cleric. You're supposed to be helping people.
We can, I promise, but not now, later. Eventually the group calms down. We make it back over to Fiona to catch up on what's happened. Once the Baron was killed and the house destroyed, Fiona managed to make a speech to the people to restore order and get the guards onto her side. The crowd's bloodlust had been satiated. Fiona was talking to Vasily, who was going to be working as her accountant and was in charge of the treasury. A carriage pulls up. We recognize it. Stepping out is Rahadin, servant of Strahd. As he approaches, we can hear the screams emanating from him from all the people he's killed. Fiona greets him.
Welcome to Vallaki.
What's he doing here?
We're trying to open our doors, Fiona said, not to be as closed-minded as the Baron. So I struck a deal.
Greetings, Fiona.
Rahadin says.
My master sends his regards.
He pulls out a treasure chest. We can hear the clatter of gold inside. He passes it over to Vasily.
Oh, this gold will be helpful in restoring the town to prosperity,
she said. Oh, so she's actually an ally of Strahd. Well, we probably should have asked about that before we put her in power in the government. Rahadin turns to our group.
My master is expecting you tonight for dinner. Please, come meet me when you are ready.
Sure. Of course. We'll be ready in an hour. We went back to the inn to discuss. We sat around the table desperately thinking what to do as the time started running out. The entire group was feeling pretty down. A lot of people died. The church was destroyed. Vallaki is now under Strahd's control, and we're being forced to go to Castle Ravenloft for dinner. What the fuck are we gonna do? We can't bring Irina. If she stays here by herself, she's gonna get captured.
Oh no, what's with all the sad faces?
Rictavio said. We're trying to figure some stuff out. Rictavio, please go away.
I heard your problem,
Rictavio said.
I can take Irina and get out of here.
I squint at him. Why? Why are you helping us?
Of course, Octavio always liked to help people that are in trouble.
I narrow my eyes at him suspiciously. Question! What is the curse of Strahd? You were looking at Irina specifically when you said she was his curse.
Octavio says lots of things. I was making a funny joke.
Oh, really? It didn't seem like it was a joke when you said it earlier. You seemed pretty serious.
No time to explain, he said. It's complicated.
Damn it, Rictavio, quit it with this cryptic bullshit, Garo said. I need answers. What's Strahd planning? What role does she play in all of this?
You're just going to have to trust me,
Rictavio explained. I don't, I say. I don't trust you or anyone else, okay? Right now, Rahadin is waiting out there for us, and she's caught up in all of this. People are dying. I need answers, and I need them now, damn it.
I can't, not now.
He lowered his voice and looked at me very seriously and said,
Come to the tower on Baratok, Kazan's tower. There you'll find all the answers you're looking for. And right now, you don't have a lot of options. Let me take Irina.
All right. Fine. I don't have a whole lot of options. She can't stay here in Vallaki, and she can't go with us to Strahd. But I better get those answers I'm looking for from that tower.
You will, I promise you,
Rictavio said.
And I'll keep Irina safe.
He takes Irina.
Throw a hood on. If we leave quickly, we'll escape out of here without getting spotted.
She nods, and they rush out of the inn, trying to go as fast as they can without drawing too much attention to themselves. We meet back with Rahadin. We're ready to go. The group enters into the carriage. We travel up the long, winding roads, past the craggy peaks of the mountains, to the Gothic castle Ravenloft. As we approach, the drawbridge lowers. There's a clack, clack, clack as the carriage crosses the wooden bridge. We pass through the massive doors that were open like the maw of a predator, and we're just walking right in. We're shown into the castle with high vaulted ceilings, exquisite furniture, and imposing windows. Echoing through the halls is music from an organ.
My master is in quite the happy mood now,
Rahadin explained.
It has been a long time since he played.
We enter the dining room, which has several chandeliers with candles overhead. We are sat down at the table. Arriving one by one are the brides of Strahd, which we have met before. Ludmilla, Valenta, Anastasia. Finally, arriving in all his glory, is the tall, pale man, Strahd von Zarovich.
Pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
He sits at the head of the table. In front of us is a wide array of foods. Wine, meats, cheeses, breads. Gouda starts tearing into it. Krusk eats a healthy serving. Boshak piles on meat, while Garo helps himself to some bread and water.
I am disappointed. I thought you would bring Tatiana as well.
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Tatiana? I don't think we've met her. Strahd sighs and rolls his eyes.
Irina.
Oh, Irina! Yeah, well, you know, she's... I don't know if I'd consider her, like, a part of the group, exactly. She's more of a, an acquaintance, I guess you could say. There's a long, awkward silence as Garo and Strahd stare at each other. Strahd says, his eyes narrow at me.
Where is she, currently?
I don't know. I mean, you can't expect us to keep track of her all the time. She has her own stuff to do, you know? Does someone else want to talk to Strahd now? The other players are still digging into their food. Got the guy with the -1 charisma doing all the talking. What about a warlock over here? He probably has lots of interesting stuff to say. Nope, Boshak said. I'm sorry. Can you excuse us for 1 second? I drag Boshak away from the table. From the other room, they can hear exasperated whispering.
You're a warlock! You have high charisma. Why aren't you the one talking to him? What do you mean you're an int warlock?
I talked to the DM before the campaign started. We decided that the intelligence stat doesn't get used a whole lot. So he let me use int for my spellcasting, and not charisma. It makes more sense with a great old one warlock, because I learned forbidden secrets.
Oh, that's great. I see that you decided to fuck over the entire group because you wanted to have more role-playing. Everyone knows that intelligence is a dumb stat.
We come back to the table. Where's our friend? I say. We were told that you have one of our friends captive.
Ludmilla, did you tell them that?
He wagged his finger at them.
You shouldn't be giving out all of our secrets.
I apologize, my love,
she said.
I just gave them a little incentive to come tonight.
You know better than that,
he said. Where are they? I asked.
She said too much,
Strahd said. I thought we could get them back if we came here.
I never promised that.
Could we meet them?
No. You were promised that they would be here. They are.
He takes a sip from his wine. So anyway, I changed the subject, realizing that I'm not getting anywhere. What were we talking about? Irina, Tatiana. Why do you call her Tatiana?
Because that is her name.
Strahd explains.
She is the reincarnation of my beloved Tatiana, who died hundreds of years ago.
How do you know that? I said. It could be anybody. Besides, if she died hundreds of years ago, she's long gone.
Not in Barovia,
Strahd explained.
Barovia, this land you see, is cursed. The dark powers were jealous of our wealth and power. It is a prison. No soul may leave this place. When a person dies and the soul cannot escape it to the afterlife, it either wanders the land as a ghost, hunting, or returns back to be born again. But the land has a problem. Sometimes a child is born with no soul. We call them mistouched, and it happens because there are more children being born than there are souls to feel them. Where Tatiana comes into this, we were lovers, set to wed hundreds of years ago, but she perished, murdered by my treacherous guards. But her soul remained, being born once again. She is brought forth to a new family, grows up, unbeknownst to her past. Every time I find her again, but the dark powers that rule this land make sure that just before we are to wed, she perishes, and the eternal cycle repeats. It is only because she is a free spirit. She does not remember our love. The dark power seeks to break me. They use her to torture me. She, my beloved Tatiana, is my love, but is also my curse.
He holds out his glass, looking up to the mantelpiece where there is a massive portrait of Tatiana. She looks nearly identical to Irina.
Aw, that's so sad,
Gouda said.
Now I just feel bad for this guy. Do you?
I give her a look.
He just wants to be with the one he loves.
I would feel a teensy-weensy little bit bad for this guy, I said, had he not butchered everyone in the church earlier today. I guess all of my goodwill just drained out around then. I turned back to Strahd. I do have another question. You said you were the one who brought us here. What reason? Strahd swirled his wine around.
Personally, I have many purposes. Entertainment, partly. People here, their hope is destroyed, their souls crushed. Outsiders have life that you don't often see. Besides, we are all caught in a cycle that happens over and over again. Death and rebirth. Tatiana fleeing from me, souls fighting to take over and losing again and again. Adventures are not caught in the, trap.
I say.
I will eventually claim Tatiana. The dark powers cannot keep us apart forever. Our love is eternal.
And when you claim Tatiana, I ask, will that end the curse? Will this land be healed and the people free? Strahd smiles.
Of course.
The rest of the dinner passes by uneventfully. Eventually we're seen by Strahd privately.
Truly, I have brought you to my home because I have a job for you.
You want to hire us? We say. If it's about Irina, the answer's no.
No,
Strahd explains.
I have a problem. One of my people here in this castle is not following my orders and is following instructions from someone else.
So you got a traitor.
Indeed,
he says.
I cannot find them myself, but you can help me. I will give you free reign over Ravenloft. You are allowed to go wherever you want. Also, you can have Rahadin accompany you. Or go by yourself, but if you choose to wander, this castle has many unexpected traps and strange magic, so it would not be wise to wander too far.
Why would we help you? We ask. What's in it for us?
If you help me, I will allow one of you to leave this land.
But not the others.
No, just one.
We sigh. Look, we can't make any promises. We can try, but we can't guarantee that we can find them.
That is all I'm asking you to do.
We have a little huddle. Okay, here's the plan. We'll do it, look for the traitor, but that's just to get info. They might even end up being our ally. Part of me doesn't want to tell them because, let's face it, any opportunity to fuck over Strahd, let's take it. All right, we'll take you up on your offer. And Strahd leaves us to our own devices. So while most of our D&D sessions are about 3 or 4 hours, this game we played for 10 hours, 6 of which we spent going through the castle, talking to everyone there, getting information, and trying to piece together parts of the puzzle. It was a lot of discussion, mining for information. The very, very short summary is that there are 3 brides, Valenta, Ludmilla, and Anastasia. All of the brides hate each other. They all think that they are Strahd's number 1, and all the other wives are nothing more than imposters.
I don't know why he keeps Anastasia around. She thinks she's better than everyone else here. Honestly, it's time he got rid of her.
Last time on Real Housewives of Barovia.
She said what? That bastardy bitch!
From talking to them some more, what we discover is that Strahd has control of many of the animals in his domain. Each of the brides was given control of a different one. Ludmilla was given control of the wolves, Anastasia control of the rats, and Valenta is upset because she was supposed to control the ravens, but wasn't given them yet. We discover that there's a 4th bride, Sasha, who was thrown into the dungeon when Strahd got bored of her. Then there's Escher, a male escort, I guess you could say. After hours of talking to people, taking notes, exploring around, we eventually return to talk to Rahadin.
Did you find the one who is undermining Strahd?
Not really, I said. Being completely honest, I just flat told him, everyone here is very loyal. We didn't talk to anyone who didn't like Strahd.
That was not what my master was interested in,
Rahadin said.
There is someone who is taking orders from someone else. Someone who is running off on too long of a leash.
I suddenly realize who they're looking for. Valenta, the bride we fought at the Druid Circle. The one who stole the stone and was using it to create a massive tree blight. She had accidentally revealed that she had gotten the plan from the witch in the forest. She was the one who was taking orders from someone else.
So, is there anyone who fits this?
Rahadin asked. I shake my head. No, not at all, I say, this time actually lying. We could have just told him, but fuck Strahd. Maybe it doesn't help us, but if it hurts him, I'm all for it. By the way, are we free to leave now?
Not until you find out who we're looking for,
he said. Well, what if we can't, though?
Then you can tell Strahd of your own incompetency personally.
I guess we'll look around some more. And we exit the office to explore more of Castle Ravenloft. We also find out that the captured friend who's here is not Esmeralda, but Ismark, who I don't know if you guys remember, but in the first episode, he's Irina's brother. He got bitten by a werewolf. We had to abandon him because he's a threat to Vallaki and other people. He ran off. Apparently, he had gotten captured by them, and he was put into the lower dungeon and is being broken in to serve them. We sneak down to the bottom and find Ismark, but also Emil. He used to be the head of the werewolf pack, but was ousted by a Strahd supporter. He's been a werewolf his entire life and does not respect killing humans. We decide, okay, he's cool. We also steal a sword down there, but it prefers a lawful good character, so we pass it to Ismark. I'm like, I wish I was lawful good, but I've had to be deceptive to the hags of Strahd. I don't think I'm lawful. The team decided on a plan. We're going to sneak out without telling Strahd. We cast an invisibility spell on our 2 werewolves and make our way to the courtyard. He technically said we would be safe here so we could just leave without telling him. By the time he figures it out, he has no way of knowing. As we're crossing the bridge, we hear a voice saying,
"Leaving without saying goodbye. Where are your manners?"
Appearing on the bridge is Strahd.
I thought you were better than this.
We tried, okay, Garo said. We told you before we probably couldn't do it.
Really? He said. Then perhaps I thought too highly of you then.
Maybe you did, I say. There's an awkward tension as we're just staring each other down.
Well, I suppose it can't be helped. Strahd said, "You're free to leave."
We all breathed a sigh of relief as he walked past, back to the castle. We continued walking, trying to put as much distance between him and us.
"By the way, Ismark," Strahd said, "tell your sister I'm coming for her."
Crap! He can see invisible creatures. He's got true sight. Of course he's got true sight. He's a vampire! But he didn't bother us, and we left the castle. Once we got off the drawbridge, the door came up, slamming behind us. The tension slowly slipped down farther and farther we fled. We trekked across the mountainside, heading back to Vallaki. On the way, we ran into Esmeralda, who joined up with us. It turns out she had ran into some trouble, and that's why she wasn't able to contact us. On the way there, we passed a windmill. The windmill where the hags were killing children, baking them into dream pastries and forcing us to sell them in town. The same ones that were killing Krusk every night. Do you guys think we could kill those hags? Probably not, someone said. We still can't. I think we should try to take them now, I said. We got 2 werewolves with us, Ismark and Emil, plus Esmeralda, plus a full group, and we got all our hit points and spells and stuff like that. Like, if we had any chance to take them down, now would be it. Okay, someone said, but if we get caught, they're not gonna let us go this time. We're gonna get murdered. I shake my head. I'm not letting them kill any more kids. While we wanted to kill them, it seemed almost impossible. All night hags have etherealness, so if they get cornered, they can just go incorporeal, and we can't attack them. So we talked for a bit, and eventually come up with a plan. Esmeralda piped up,
I might be able to help with that. Van Richten taught me a few things.
So we discussed for a bit, and eventually come up with a plan. We cut over to the hags. They're at the windmill, baking, when they notice Boshak and Garo approaching the door. How unusual, one of the hags said. What are you doing here now?
We just finished getting rid of all the pastries. I thought you might have mentioned making a fresh batch.
Yes, we were just about to contact you. Please, come in.
Boshak and Garo sit down nervously.
Have you found any children? Little children for us to use?
No, well, yeah, we did, but I thought about it. They were at the Church of St. Andrew's, but they're dead now. Killed by Strahd.
Oh, how unfortunate. What a waste of good, fresh, young meat.
Yeah.
It really would have been so convenient. They were so close by. Guess we'll have to look farther away.
She moves over to the window to look outside, but Garo puts his arm up in the way.
What are you doing?
What, me? No, nothing. What are you doing? Are you doing something suspicious? Because I'm not doing anything suspicious. If I was doing something suspicious, you'd be the first person I'd tell about. Their eyes narrow at me.
I'm thinking about cooking humans, Boshak says, but unfortunately, I'm not as well versed in the secrets of culinary arts.
Oh, we have many recipes to share with you, they say. What are you interested in making? Bone broths? Kidney stew? Baked brains?
Garo is leaning back and forth nervously, looking out the window, trying not to be too inconspicuous.
Those all sound delicious.
After talking for a short while, Garo gets up. He draws his quarterstaff. Welp, has it been a minute, Boshak? Yeah, seems like it's been a minute, Boshak says, drawing his staff. Everyone notices a flash of runes on the ground and walls.
What treachery is this?
The hags say. As they touch the runes, there's a set of sparks coming off of it.
It's a trap of some kind. Don't think you can get away with this.
They try to flee, phasing out of existence for a second, but popping right back into place. They have a look of horror on their faces as they realize their etherealness doesn't work. You know, Boshak, I think you were the one who pointed out that the windmill's ground floor is conveniently the same 10-foot radius of a magic circle. Outside, we cut to Esmeralda, who is chanting, hands on the ground, to cast the circle. She had been chanting for the last minute that it takes to cast. We just had to make sure that they didn't hear them outside by making small talk and keeping them away from the window. Magic circle is basically a cage that can trap a demon, devil, fae, angel, or something like that. You guys are all stuck here. You can't attack anyone outside of the circle. Garo, they all turn to you, eyes glaring. Wait, I'm in the circle. we didn't think this far ahead in the plan. Garo, the DM asked, make me 3 saves against their hold person spells as they all rain their attacks down on you. I made the 3 saves back to back. My dice were on fire that fight. Eventually, the other party members burst down the door and rush in to help us. With nowhere to go, we beat them up pretty easily. Having 8 people, 2 of which are werewolves, really helps. I go upstairs to check on the kids and find where Gertruda is. One of the hags tries to flee up to where I am to escape. She only has a few hit points left when I approach her.
Please, I give up. I'm done. Just let me go.
She says,
We'll stop hunting you.
You know, I remember what you told me the first time we met, I said, readying my quarterstaff.
Yes, I remember. I saved you, remember? I let you live.
You did. But since then, I've figured out just how you do things in Barovia. And I swung my quarterstaff at her and caved her head in. After all, like you said, I'm a fast learner. Then I swung at her head again, just to make sure she was dead.
What's happening down there?
Gertruda said. The child was upstairs. Gouda went up to talk to her.
Oh, nothing, Gouda said. We're just taking care of some monsters down here. Don't worry, you don't have to be afraid anymore.
As they're talking, we're just below them downstairs.
We have a problem,
Esmeralda said.
Gertruda is a hag. We're going to have to kill her.
She doesn't know. She thinks she's just a kid, I said.
For now, she said, but give it just a month. She's going to transform and be killing people soon enough.
In case you guys are not caught up or forgot, hags can reproduce by stealing people's children and replacing them with a hag baby. The child grows up normally, but once they reach adulthood, they slowly transform, becoming a hag. Gertruda is right on the edge where she still thinks she's a normal child, but any day now she can morph into a young hag and start killing people. Deep down, she's a monster.
There's no saving her,
Esmeralda said solemnly.
But there's another issue. Gertruda was outside of the magic circle when we formed it. I'm going to have to make another trap closer. If we don't, she might be able to teleport away.
That's fine, I say. I guess I'll keep her distracted for a minute, and then we'll finish this. She's the last hag, after all. It was the hardest thing in the world for me to walk up that flight of stairs to the 3rd floor where Gertruda and Gouda were talking.
Don't worry, we gotcha, Gouda said. We're gonna get you back to your mommy. She's been worried sick about you.
Hey there, hope you're okay, Garo said, putting on his best smile.
What's going on?
Gertruda said, oh, we're just taking care of some stuff downstairs. You don't need to worry about that, I say, pulling up a seat next to them.
You're going to kill me, aren't you?
Gertruda, I know that you will probably be very confused and scared, but I want you to know how much everyone cares about you. And
take care of Lancelot,
Gertruda said, and she vanishes, escaping. Gouda went downstairs. I looked over to the crates where the other 2 children had been captive. Last I remember, there was a young boy and a young girl. The DM informs me, Garo, you check the crates, but there's nothing there. They made 2 batches of pastries since we were gone, I said solemnly. We were too late. We didn't get here in time. We couldn't save them. We didn't save anyone here. It was a while before I went downstairs, just thinking to myself with my hands on my head. Hopefully one day we'd save someone. Someday. But that day was not today. And as I sat alone in the darkness, that was where that session ended.